Don't move. Don't breathe. Marcus Webb had camped alone dozens of times. He wasn't the kind of man who startled easily. So when he decided to spend 4 nights solo in the Ouachita National Forest in October 2019, he packed light, told his wife the trailhead, and didn't give it a second thought. The first 2 nights were perfect. Cold air, the smell of pine resin, a sky so full of stars it felt fake. He was 8 miles from the nearest road, tucked into a hollow between 2 ridgelines, exactly where he wanted to be. The third night is where the story changes. He woke at 2:14 a.m., he checked his watch, to a sound he couldn't immediately place. Not an animal. Not wind. It was rhythmic. A slow, deliberate crunch 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 in the leaves about 30 yards from his tent. Footsteps. Heavy ones. He told himself, bear. Bears make noise. Bears are manageable. He grabbed his flashlight but didn't turn it on. Not yet. The footsteps stopped. For 3 full minutes, there was absolute silence. The kind of silence that feels like something is listening back. Then, directly outside his tent, maybe 8 feet away, he heard breathing. Slow. Controlled. Not an animal's breathing. The measured breathing of someone trying not to be heard. Marcus did not move. He did not make a sound. He slowly closed his hand around the handle of the hunting knife he kept beside his sleeping bag. The breathing continued for what he later estimated was 4 or 5 minutes. An eternity in the dark. Then came the voice. Low. Almost a murmur. A single sentence, spoken to no one, or perhaps to Marcus through the thin nylon wall of his tent. I already know you're awake. Marcus exploded out of his tent. He hit the flashlight, knife in hand, screaming. Nothing. Darkness. Trees. He swept the beam in every direction. No figure. No footprints he could make out clearly in the leaf litter. His fire had died to embers and cast nothing useful. He stood there in his bare feet for 20 minutes. Heart hammering, scanning the tree line. He didn't sleep again that night. At first light he packed everything and moved fast. When he reached the trailhead, there was a truck parked beside his car, an old model, no plates. A ranger he flagged down on the access road told him, without much surprise, that the Ouachita backcountry had seen a string of incidents that season. A man had been reported following solo campers. He'd been approached, spoken to, documented. Never arrested for anything because, technically, walking through a forest isn't a crime. The ranger looked at Marcus's shaking hands and said, "You did the right thing coming out." Marcus never camped alone again. The man was eventually identified and questioned by law enforcement the following spring, after a similar incident led to a formal complaint. He told investigators he liked to see how people handled fear. He was released without charges. He's still out there. Diana Reyes was an experienced solo backpacker. 34 years old, a wilderness first responder, a woman who had logged more nights under the stars than in hotels. She didn't rattle. She didn't panic. That's what makes what happened in the Apache Sitgreaves National Forest in the summer of 2021 so hard to dismiss. She'd set up camp near Sampson Flats, Arizona, a remote stretch of pine forest at about 7,000 feet elevation. Beautiful country. Quiet. No other campers within miles, which was exactly how she liked it. She went to sleep that night with her tent fully zipped. Both zippers, inner mesh, outer rain fly. She always double-checked. It was habit, the way pilots run through checklists. She woke at 3:47 a.m. to cold air on her face. Her tent was unzipped. Not partially, completely open. The flap pulled all the way back, framing a rectangle of black forest and moonlit pine needles. She sat upright and went rigid. Her headlamp. Her knife. Both exactly where she'd left them. She grabbed both simultaneously. Clicked the light on. Nothing outside. Just trees and shadows. The forest was dead silent, no insects, no wind. That particular silence that any experienced outdoorsman will tell you is its own kind of alarm bell. Animals go quiet when something is moving through. She scanned the perimeter slowly. 50 feet out, something caught the light and disappeared. A shape, low, moving laterally between two trees, not running, not crashing through brush the way a deer or elk would. Sliding. Deliberate. Gone before she could fix her beam on it. She spent the rest of the night sitting upright in the center of her tent with her back to nothing, light on, knife drawn, listening. At dawn she found the footprints. They came from the north, approached within arm's reach of her tent on the left side, the side she slept closest to, made a slow arc around the tent's circumference, and then stopped. Not walked away. Not trailed off. Stopped. As if whoever made them had simply ceased to exist, or stepped backward into their own tracks and vanished. Diana photographed everything with her phone before the morning dew could soften the impressions further. Adult boots. Large. Deeply set, someone heavy, or someone moving slowly on purpose. She hiked out and filed a report with the Forest Service that same morning. A ranger examined her photographs and told her what she already suspected: the tracks were fresh, made sometime in the night, and came from no established trail. The ranger also told her something that turned the whole thing colder. 2 weeks earlier, a couple camping 6 miles north had reported waking to find the same thing, their tent unzipped from the outside, an opening that hadn't been there when they went to sleep. They'd heard nothing. They'd seen nothing. They'd assumed a malfunction and thought nothing more of it until they read Diana's posted account online months later. Diana's theory, shared by the ranger, quietly, off the record, was that someone had been testing tents. Seeing who would wake up. Seeing who wouldn't. She still doesn't know which answer is more frightening.